Welcome back to the Praying and Slaying podcast, a Light the Fire Outdoors production. On this episode, John Landris emerges from the pipeline mud to make another co-host appearance. The guys remind you to hunt hard and have fun, and why it's important to get off Facebook and enjoy the beach. With that, let's jump in with Aaron and John.
Nothing a couple of meatheads can't handle.
Right.
Well, welcome back to the Praying and Slaying podcast. And today is probably the most exciting day since we launched this thing because John Landris is back in town and ready to record.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Good, man. So you are, tell us what's been going on, man, because like our schedules got kind of crazy and then some life changes happened. So you got a lot to catch us up on, I think.
Yeah, we could talk a long time about that, but life throw you a curveball from time to time, and the job I'd worked for many years came to an end, and I had to take on a different way of bringing home the bacon, and I ended up going through the process of joining a heavy equipment operators union and working on the pipeline. And once you work on the pipeline, as anyone out there that's ever done it, I mean, it's just go, go, go. And so, I mean, I basically worked for 3 months straight, So
that's crazy.
Pretty crazy time, but
sure.
thankful for the opportunity, and I've certainly learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to going back. I'm laid off right now just because everything's so wet, and it's just futile trying to do work in 2-3 feet of mud and pulls everything down. So I'm in this a layoff period where I'll eventually get called back. So I'm trying to enjoy my time off because when I go back, it'll probably be 4 to 5 months just straight. So
wow. That's awesome, man.
But it's been great to see or actually hear that you've been keeping the beat of the Praying and Slaying podcast heartbeat going in my absence with Jeremy.
Yeah, man, for sure. Jeremy came in at a good time with all that stuff going on and kind of in a lull period there. But yeah, that hunt where Jeremy and I talked about, and he's like, I'll do it with you guys or whatever. And I was like, perfect. Couldn't have been better timing. That's awesome. Guys got a way of making it work, man.
Right. And
for sure, dude.
So I figured I'd call and catch up with you today because I'm actually heading from my hometown over to where I do some turkey hunts, and I'm starting hunting tomorrow morning. I drove through the area maybe 2 weeks ago, and I saw like 20 to maybe 30 turkeys in an afternoon driving around, which is more than I've ever seen. So I'm kind of excited. I know the area well. I have 3 or 4 farms secured that I can hunt on, and I'm expecting it to be easy. So the back of my mind, I know right away it's probably not going to be when you have those expectations.
No, for sure. It never is, man. Well, that's cool, man. You got some turkey hunting. I think where we left off was the Turkey Takers series. So you just picked up right where you left off. Yeah,
right. So last year I used the crossbow because with the schedule I was on, I had days off here and days off there, and using a bow or crossbow in Minnesota, you can hunt any day throughout a 6-week period that you want. When you use a shotgun, you have to pick your week from like a Wednesday to a Tuesday. And this year is just with so many things going on, I'm taking my shotgun. I'm actually really excited.
Yeah, dude, I would be too, man, for sure. Just use the hammer if you got it.
That's right. Yep,
that's cool.
That's right.
Yeah, this year I was planning on trying to get I was really planning on just not doing turkeys this year. I came out here and got my first Merriam's last year, which was awesome. Ended up with 3 for the year, which is a great season. But I still haven't got a black bear yet. And, we're kind of at that threshold with being in the military that you just know your time's kind of more limited now and stuff like that. So it's like, do I want to split my time between turkeys this year and bears, or just put all my eggs in the bear basket and do that? And so I've got 3 turkey tags in my pocket, but I don't know. I still haven't decided yet. Clay Peterman, the guy I hunted with last year to get that double, he invited me out again. He just said, hey, we got an open invite. And I know you and I had talked about maybe trying to get a hunt done out there yet, but the weekend's kind of the same thing. I've just got so much going on, and we're in a super busy time with work to try to take time off during the week to do it. It's probably a no-go. So now I'm just still kicking it around my head. You can't not want to turkey hunt every year. It's such a fun hunt, but I think bears might just take the time I do have this season. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided.
Yeah, I hear you there. Both things that you said. I mean, turkey hunting is just, for me, I think I've said it before, I take deer hunting so seriously that I made myself a promise when I started turkey hunting. Like, I'm gonna hunt hard and put my foot in the game, but I'm always gonna remind myself that I'm doing it to have fun, and that definitely gets lost. I just don't have the capability of doing it for whitetails, because it's just, if I don't get a big buck, it's like carrying a monkey around on my back, and I don't want to put that that same crap on my back when it comes to turkey. So you just sit back and enjoy it, put your time in. I just feel like with the experience that I've gotten over the years turkey hunting, that I'm probably going to get a turkey. So just make it fun and just kind of tip your cap when a big gobbler comes out and turns around. I remember telling about the roadrunner that came out, strutted around last year, looked around, and took one step towards me, and I thought it's a done deal, because of the lay of the land and stuff. Not to tell that full story again, but then he turned and roadrunner, off through the brush, and I just had to chuckle and tip my cap to him. Like, what the heck,
Oh yeah, no, they're funny birds, man. I know. Jeremy said he went out, or Jeremy was on his way out to, we got to launch that podcast actually. Had it recorded. I intended on launching it Friday, but work got caught up with me and I still need to do it today. But anyway, he headed out where Clay's at, and I guess they had a heck of a go with it. Just birds being henned up or not responding to calls. So I don't know, a little early still or what the deal is, but there's been a few turkeys on the forums I've seen, and the hunting forums here in like Montana, stuff hitting the ground, but not like crazy yet,
Yeah, that's funny you say that. Minnesota, it's still, one day it'll be 65. I don't think it's hit 70 yet, but maybe 70. And then the next day it'll drop down in the 30s, so you got I have that kind of this war in my mind of, I know that the turkeys sustain themselves in the winter where I hunt by feeding on the acorns in the oaks. But then again, I know at some point when the hay fields around here green up, they like to be in the field. Well, there's hardly anything green yet. So in the back of my mind, it's like, should I hunt the oaks more, where there's still probably a lot of them at, with the acorns, should I hunt where I always hunt? And I know there's turkeys in the field, even though they're not green yet. So I guess my plan is to hunt, virtually no scouting. I was just driving the dirt roads a couple of weeks ago. I didn't go into where I turkey hunt. I decided I'm just going to leave it alone and just go for it. But I'm going to start at my favorite spot on my grandparents' old farm, where I've got quite a few turkeys, and saw that roadrunner. He actually popped into my mind earlier. I hope he's still out there. I'd love the chance to duel him again.
Oh yeah. I bet you will. He'll be there waiting for you.
Yeah, but in my back pocket, if I'm not seeing birds on the fields, there again, because they're not greened up and they might not be using them as much, I'm gonna really quickly pull the pin and get into the oaks. And I know in that area they've also done some logging, so they use the logging as the openness that a field provides, as well as the feed of acorn. So I think it's set up pretty good. That's at least my game plan going into it. And another thing I'd like to touch on, last week was the opening week of Minnesota turkey hunting, and of course, as the schedule goes, I saw it like a month in advance. Like, I'm gonna be sitting on a beach in Florida the opening week of turkey season in Minnesota. So I kind of had to chuckle. Like, you can pick a different season, it's fine. It's not like deer hunting where you really want to get in on the action right away. So I'd be sitting on a beach in Florida, and there's a Facebook page, Minnesota Turkey Hunters, and I'd be sitting back, relaxing, soaking in the sun, and click on that page, and this guy got his first turkey. This guy got his 8th turkey in a row. This 4-year-old girl got her first turkey, and it's just over and over and over. And you feel like you're missing out on the action. You got to get back there. What are you doing? And then it dawns on you, well, you're in a good spot. You're sitting on Panama Beach, Florida. You're enjoying the sun.
Right.
And then it happened to dawn on me to cross-reference, okay, so maybe 100 people have shot a turkey in this group, and posted about it. So then I went and looked at the number of members in the group. It's like 5,500, So there again, that social media has a way of feeling like you're kind of always in the wrong spot at the wrong time, you know?
Oh, dude.
And, yeah. So, I mean, you just have to take it all in and tip your hat to those guys. It's great they got their turkeys. Be supportive to your fellow hunters and enjoy the trip that I was on, and then know and have the confidence in myself. Like, when I get my shot, like, I'm going to get my turkey. Or I'm going to die trying.
For sure. No, I think we've talked about that before, man. Like that impact that social media has on putting just a stress on hunting and fishing and everything that you enjoy outdoors. And it's like, if you took away Facebook, it would be like, I think hunting and stuff would go back to the only stress you would have is when that, like you said, that turkey turns around and hightails it on you, or that big buck gets away, you know, in the season or something. Yeah. But like, man, you start seeing everybody else post pictures and stuff. And exactly right, man. I'm sitting here in the office every day, and I do my very best, and I do a pretty good job of it now. It's been a habit for so long to just limit social media, period. But when it comes to the hunting stuff, dude, I don't even subscribe to a lot of the hunting pages and stuff anymore, or follow them or whatever, just so I don't, or I might be on them, but I don't like follow them or whatever. So it shows up in your newsfeed all the time. Because it just weighs on you. Like, it's fun to go look every once in a while, but not, man, it stresses you out so bad. And then when you're in the outdoors industry, it puts a whole different pressure on it anyway, because it's just like, you have to go do it. And it takes all the fun away. And it sucks.
And you're kind of shirt-tailed into where some may perceive that you should kind of be a professional at it. You should,
or that, yeah.
And you should if you're, we both work for Tacticam, you should kind of get the best Tacticam footage out there, right?
For sure. So, I've been hazing Jeremy about that, because he came on the payroll at Tacticam. I give him all kinds of crap when he doesn't get videos of his hunts or very limited footage and all that stuff, just to razz him a bit. But he's pretty good at throwing it back. Yeah,
that is a goal of mine. Like, my memory instantly when I started to say that's a goal of mine, because my mind skipped back to, I was gonna say it is a goal of mine to ride it out a little bit longer even than I normally would, and get good footage, like when you and I and Mr. Jeff Deal were in Missouri, and I wanted to shoot that turkey at 65 yards. When Jeff was like, "No, don't shoot him. He's coming right into the decoy." oh yeah. Then he was on a dead sprint to the decoy. That was right.
You would have hammered him if you were on your own any other day of the week.
Yeah, you see it. You got a shot. Take the first good shot you got. That's my mentality. That's always been my mentality as a hunter. But to his point, the point he was making, like, maybe if he was running off and you weren't going to get a shot again, but when he's running right into the decoys, let him come in, calm your nerves down, get it on film and put a good shot on him, blow him over,
Oh yeah. And it's always such a better feeling when you do that, because it's no matter how it lays out, it's always exciting in the field. But when you get back and check out a video and you have awesome footage, it's just like, it's even better. It's just like, you can't be more excited about it.
Oh man, I tell you what, one of the best feelings I've ever had as a hunter is must have been, the same year I blasted that one, in Missouri with you guys. I came home, and that's when I learned how to reap and got my first reaper decoy, and I was just jacked to go reap a turkey. Like, I'm reaping a turkey or I'm not shooting. That's just how it is,
Yeah.
And I worked till noon that day, hit the road, got over to where I hunted, say 2 o'clock, and by 4 o'clock I had reaped a turkey, and it was the best. And I had like 3 different angles of it, so as soon as the dust settled, the gobbler stops flopping, I lean my gun against a tree. I'm like, please let me have all this video. And I watched it, and I was just like, I was stunned that it was that easy. You know what I mean? And I was like, please let this buffer and everything work right, and everything saved and everything download. I mean, it was all just perfect. And I was just on cloud 9. I remember calling you right away, like, Aaron, you got to check this out, because you were the team director back then, and I was the team leader. Like, check this out. I'll send it over to you right away.
Oh yeah. Dude, there's no better feeling, man. That's so cool. I finally got up. That's another thing I'm gonna do today once I get that other podcast thrown out there. On the LTFO YouTube channel, I finally launched. I started taking one day a week to edit videos so I can actually get rid of this pile of footage and put it on YouTube or wherever. Yeah. But
I started with it just being perfect timing. I dug up all the footage last year from my first Miriam hunt out here in Montana on that limited draw tag I got. And dude, just it's like going through all that footage and editing it and the whole thing. I mean, it's just, you get to relive that moment all over again. And then it's like, like you said, once everything's downloaded, once everything's uploaded, all the, everything's good. And YouTube says, all right, congratulations, you did it. And then the video editor doesn't crash on you. It's like, thank God. Cause now you got this like perfect memory preserved. All the stress goes away. And now it's just like, dude, send it. But it's,
and we'll touch on it again, cause we're right here at the cusp of it. I mean, you get that hunt and then it's there forever. And I mean, the very next day, like I went to the gas station and I saw a local guy that I've known my whole life. And he's like, what are you doing around here? And I'm like, I'm turkey hunting, or I was. And he's like, you got one already? I'm like, yeah. It's like, well, tell me how it went. And I'm like, no. I'll show you how it went. And I showed him that footage and he's like, you filmed that too? He's like, that bird was like 2 feet from you. How did you film it too? And I'm like, well, it's just a camera mounted on the end of my gun barrel. And I'm like, check this out. I had one pointing back at me too. And I had a wide angle, and he was just floored. So, I mean, the fact that you don't have to sit there and try and tell the best story you can every time, because that hunt was so cool and means so much to you. You did something that you are so proud of that you want to share it correctly. You just go into your Tacticam app, hit play, and show them. And then it was kind of like an old school gas station where it's like a country store gas station. So in the back, he had like a table where all the local boys would come in and drink coffee. And next thing you know, he's calling them over. You got to see this. You got to see this. You got to see this.
John Landris, the tactic store.
Turkey reaping. There's nothing to it, but
not a chance. That's awesome. Did you see the peeping or the reaping peeper reaped one?
I did. I mean, my mind raced when I saw that, how many different directions I could go with my comment on there, because of the history we had with that guy. And he brought that hog reaper down to hog camp. And, that time that we were leaving the Iowa camp and he couldn't find his reaper and all that stuff, and I was like, way to go. No surprise. You reaper,
Oh yeah. No, it was fun. I got to hang out with him actually a little bit at I flew in for one of the recent Tacticam sales meetings, and the Deer Classic was going on in Iowa. So I flew in a little early and end up crashing at my parents' place. And then I went out to the Deer Classic, and dude, I'm sitting there at there's a guy out of Missouri. He started a company called Jacked Gear. He's retired Navy. And they make like bow slings, gun slings out of paracord and stuff like that. And it's an all veteran employee company. Like he employs disabled veterans, guys who can't get a job for one reason or another. He'll like ship supplies to their house. They have orders that they have to fulfill. And then they have guys that drive around on the delivery route and they pick up the completed stuff and they drop off more supplies for the next week. And it's a really cool operation he's got. But I met him at the Total Archery events last year that we started going to. And just a really cool, super cool dude, super cool business. And anyway, I knew he was going to be at the Deer Classic on the vendor list. So I went over there and I was talking with him and anyway, just kind of catching up. And I'm sitting there staring across at the booth, like straight across from me. And I just not a thought in the world. Like my eyes were looking one direction at like these different people and stuff, but my head was like in the conversation I was in. And I sat there for probably a good 25 minutes looking Scott Novotny in the eyes. And I had no idea it was him. I'm just sitting there like staring at this dude and wondering why he's staring at me. And then my brain like zapped out of the conversation a little bit. And then like it clicked. I'm like, holy crap. And like I got a smile on my face. And then he gets this big old grin on his face.
You're like, that's the peeping reaper.
That's the peeping reaper, man. Holy crap. So went over and chatted with him and the guys from actually it was one of your buddies. I think it was the guy that you and I talked about who had that trail camera card reader. I'm pretty sure he knew you from something. But that's the company that was
you're talking about
Lowdown. Yeah. The Lowdown reader. That's the booth that Scott was hanging out in. So we went over there and I talked to the Lowdown guys and they talked, one of them said he knew you or whatever. And And then, the Peep and Reaper took me around to some of the different contacts he knew, and we shot the breeze for a little bit and got to catch up. And then actually the buddy he reaped that turkey with is now just signed up to be like the latest Tacticam dealer out of Iowa. He's a guy that sells some sporting goods and grills and stuff like that up in his area. And I guess he was with him because I called that dealer to finalize an order he was placing or whatever. And he said, yeah, we actually got a reap a turkey the other day with Scott. And I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot you said you hunt with him or whatever. And he said, yeah, dude, normally we're in a blind and we have 15 different angles and like all this stuff. And I guess, I don't know what exactly happened, but it sounded like they got the footage of them walking away from the turkey and that was it. They didn't actually get it on film. So we're gonna have to bust Scott on that one a little bit.
Oh, we're gonna have to tactic shame him.
Yeah, he couldn't push the button on his friggin' Tacticam, but he carried that rack hanger around with him to pose with.
But I mean, that's what's so cool about hunting and the hunting community for the most part. I mean, a couple of years ago, we didn't even know Scott. Now it's like you see a post of him. We know Scott well. We know what he's been through. And a guy like that, like you have that bond, and you always have his back, and you're always
salt of the earth, man. Oh, for sure, man. We've I was telling my wife that just the other day. It's these unique communities you get yourself involved in, and it's exactly it. I don't know what, once you have a common bond, like it's there forever, and no matter who comes in and out of that community, there's always some part of you that kind of like they become part of your family a little bit. And like the military is very much that way. And there's people you don't like and there's people you like, but at the end of the day, you all kind of have that connection that binds you. I was telling my wife about that. We Light the Fire Outdoors right now is sponsoring with, by the way, a little shameless plug here. The proceeds from Light the Fire Outdoors, on all the sales and stuff, we've sold a couple Blackhound scopes now. The LTFO decals, LTFO beanie, all the proceeds and stuff from that are actually starting to kind of come to fruition a little bit. We had enough funds from those to completely fund the first 6-week tournament on Malmstrom Air Force Base, first ever indoor archery tournament this base has ever had. They just opened an indoor range, and we were lucky enough to spearhead the getting some indoor competition going this winter. So we're on week 5 actually tonight. 1800 we're kicking that off. But anyway, so yeah, funds from those are again, all the proceeds go to veterans conservation and the LTFO mission. And for veterans here, that's what you guys have been supporting most recently is the 6-week tournament, targets, prizes, stuff like that for the shooters here on Malmstrom, which is pretty cool. Getting a lot of new airmen into it, some experienced shooters, some inexperienced shooters, and that kind of stuff. But anyway, the people that show up to this, it's like really funny because I've been out of the military now for, gosh, I don't know, a good handful of years, 6 years or so. But you kind of miss that camaraderie a little bit. And this was getting back in here and hanging out with these different guys and gals that I've never met in my life. I'm an Air Force spouse at this point, basically. But getting to hang out with these people, you meet them and they all have different personalities and stuff. And I was talking to my wife about it at dinner the other night, and I was like, what's kind of funny about this is like, there was a kid in there and he's the only person who's shot all every week of this tournament so far with me. And everybody else has kind of been on, they come and go and, here a couple of weeks, gone a couple of weeks, that kind of thing. But anyway, this one kid, his name's Raul. He's been in there shooting, and he he hustled in one day because he thought he was late. Cause I tell everybody kickoff time's 1800, but it's like a half hour warm up session. And then after that, we officially start slinging arrows downrange for score at 6:30. And, he texted me that he was going to be late this one. I'm like, oh, no problem or whatever. So I'm in there dinking around with my bow, and he comes flying in at like 6:15, like out of breath, just stumbling all over himself. And I was like, holy smokes, man. He was really hustling trying to get here, but he's not late, And I was like, dude, I thought you said you're going to be late. And he's like, yeah, it starts at 6, doesn't it? And I said, no. I said, I get here at 6 so everybody can be here, have warm up time or whatever. So we can all get kind of settled before we go. I said, that's why we start at 18:30 every day. And he's like, oh, dude, okay, thank you, man. I thought I was gonna be late. I felt bad, yada yada. I'm like, no worries. And then he heads out the door, and it was right as this new couple for that week had come in, and he like kind of tripped on the door jamb or whatever, just stumbled. He was just frazzled, and it was funny because it was. But anyway, we as he was walking, like he was like hustling out to go to the restroom or something. But anyway, in my head, when these two people were walking in, like I almost got defensive of him, and I never even had the conversation, but I felt defensive for the kid. Like if they were going to make fun of him, that I was going to have his back on it. Like, hey, don't make fun of that guy, whatever. He showed up every week, whatever. But it was like this weird, like camaraderie thing I hadn't felt in a long time about it. But it's just like, they're your brother kind of, and you're not going to let anybody, if they mess with them, you mess with them.
Hey guys, just wanted to take a little bit of a break from the show to remind you guys, if you guys want to support Light the Fire Outdoors and the Praying and Slaying podcast, you can head over to lightthefireoutdoors.com and check out our shop. We've got a full line of Blackhound optics. They're our newest favorite scope that we've been able to shoot. I'm absolutely loving the 6 to 24 by 50. I've got that put on the 6.5 by 300 Weatherby. I took it out to the range the other day and it took me like 5 shots to get a 200 yard zero. It's true tracking. Glass quality is fantastic. The price point of these things is amazing, and it's a great way to get yourself a new optic for the upcoming season, as well as support Light the Fire Outdoors and its mission. Like you heard earlier in the podcast, we do take all the proceeds that come in from all of our things, whether it's the decals on your beer fridge, whether it's the beanie you're wearing on your head while you're out shoveling snow, or whether it's a Blackhound optic. Your guys' support helps us support conservation, veterans, outdoor activities, and the Light the Fire Outdoors mission for ministry outreach. We actually put on the first ever tournament here at Malmstrom Air Force Base up here in Great Falls, Montana. And that was all based off of your guys' support and proceeds from your guys' purchases through Light the Fire Outdoors. We were able to fully fund and support that. So there was no cost to the veterans out there shooting or the base itself. So great opportunity to support us, guys. Be sure to check out ltfo.com, lightthefireoutdoors.com. Check out the shop. And if there's anything you see there, feel free to support us in that way. With that, let's get back to the show.
Right. We need more of that, brother.
Yeah, for sure, man. But no, that's cool. Yeah, we're going to bust the reprint. So you're going to go down to, where are you hunting out of? I guess don't give your spot away, but you're how many days you're spending there? Family farm again?
Yep, my family farm. It's south of Grand Rapids. It's the season's Wednesday, starts tomorrow, and it goes till next Tuesday.
Awesome, man.
And so I just got into town. It's kind of funny. It's actually snowing pretty decent here.
Oh, nice.
And get to do all the fun stuff of grocery shopping and hooking up to the camper and filling the propane bottles, because it's still supposed to get to 20 degrees tonight. So I don't want to freeze.
No, definitely not.
But I'm excited. I mean, just to unwind, get back out in the woods where I actually belong.
Yeah.
And do some hunting, just soak it all in, every bird that chirps or twig that snaps, or just take it in as a hunter. And
yeah, man. No, that's awesome. You definitely need it after working as long as you have straight with the new pipeline job and stuff. We went on vacation down to San Antonio for a week just to get away from some stuff, and I could feel myself like getting like super burnt out, just the day-to-day work stuff or whatever. You'd get these like spurts of motivation, and then they'd be followed by these like twice as long stints of like demotivation. And you get a little motivated and demotivated. Just like, it was really hard to stay motivated. And we ended up taking a week just to go down to San Antonio, and went and saw my brother. He lives in Austin. My grandma lives in Buda, Texas, which is like halfway between San Antonio and there. And just had some fun, relaxed, did a whole lot of nothing and whatever. And then came back, man. You don't realize like how much you need those refresh moments until all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, I've been able to pound pavement for like 3 weeks straight and haven't lost an ounce of motivation. Like, that was amazing. Like, you just don't realize it until you do it. And then you get back and you're like, wow, it's amazing what those recharges will do for you.
It's funny. I mean, the one thing that was going through my head when you were telling that is that, when you're going on vacation, you make all these plans, you're excited to go places. I was going to Florida. I was going to see the beaches and relax, and brother who lives down there and his son and his wife, and you're super pumped, and you get to the airport, you can't wait to get on that plane and fly down there and get there as quick as you can. And then on the way back, like the day you got to travel back, you're rushing around, you want to get to that plane to get to the next airport, to get to the next airport, and then you get to the last flight and you're like, oh, I'm so excited to get home, almost as excited as you were to go on vacation, so
yeah,
for me, that just kind of put it in perspective, like how valuable time away and exploring, doing some traveling, even if it's just relaxing in a different spot, catching up with your family, how important travel actually is.
Oh, 100%. No, it's awesome. I was a little bummed though, because on the way back, my there's a place, gosh dang it, I can never remember the name of it's like it's like at the center of Minneapolis Airport where all kind of the big wings meet or whatever. There's a restaurant there. And I remember the time I flew back to Tacticam when I got sick at the sales meeting, like I was just sick of a dog or whatever. Like I started feeling okay. And then I went to, I got to that airport and I had a bunch of time to kill or whatever. So I was up there and I kind of felt like, okay, I could probably eat something, you know, I'm feeling hungry. I'm not feeling as bad as I was. And I go to this restaurant and they had wings you could order. I'm like, yeah, it's not a terrible bet, you know? And, so I ordered some grilled wings and the lady said, would you want like 5 or 10 or something like that? I'm like, oh, you got to do 10, dude. I'm not going to do 5. She goes, are you sure they're big? And I'm like, yeah, send it. So I get them and they're the full wing off the bird. Like, so I have 10 full size wings. It's actually like you have 20 wings as you order at another restaurant, basically. And plus like the little limp wrist or whatever at the end of the bird's wing is on there too. And so I just stuffed myself full of these wings, which just ended up being a bad idea. But the wings were delicious. I always remembered that. And so anyway, I was I told my wife about it. I was like, yeah, if we ever stop through there and have enough time, we definitely got to go get wings there. They're like really good. And so when we were flying back, where we had a layover in Minneapolis, and she goes, you want to go to that? Isn't this the place she had that wing restaurant? I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. So I took her down there. She ate like one wing and didn't like them. It was like this big hyped up situation. And then I was like super depressed. So anyway, long story short, I was like, just get 5. You don't need 10. And I ended up eating 9 of them anyway, because my wife only ate one. But this time it was
funny. Like the full wings, like you were describing, that little piece at the end that always reminds me of Edward Scissorhands, the little chopper knuckle looking thing.
Yeah. It's like a praying mantis arm.
I never used to see those, but it seems to be a thing in Minnesota anyway. I don't know. Just give you the whole kit and caboodle there, bud.
Oh yeah, dude. It must be, because I mean you couldn't get any more Minnesota than the waitresses we had at that place.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
was there a Helga there?
There very well could have been named Helga. I'm not even sure. The lady asked us when she was getting off she came over and gave us our check. She said, I'm getting off my shift. Is there anything else I can get for you guys? And I said, no, actually, we're getting ready to head out anyway. So thanks for bringing it over. And she goes, you don't want any shots or anything? And I'm like, nope, definitely don't. I said no at first. I looked at my wife and I said, well, wait, are they on the house? And she goes, no, I just want to know if I can get you something before I go. No, we're good. And then we end up sitting at the Twins bar and we played rummy while we were waiting on our flight to go. And we each had my wife had a champagne and I had a double makers, and then she had a double makers and I had another one, and then she had another one. And we walked over when they started calling our gate, and then we realized we were going to be another 10 minutes before we boarded. So we walked back and had another double at the Twins bar. That was pretty fun. That's where I saw that guy. I think I told you there was a guy there. He had a hard hat, and I said, what do you do with this? I see your hard hat or whatever. What do you do? He's like, oh, I'm a safety manager or something for whatever company. And I said, oh, you're not. I said, where are you headed? And he said, I'm heading up to Duluth to do something on the pipelines. And I said, oh, no kidding. I said, I got a buddy up there. And I can't remember what he said the pipeline was he was going to work on, but he said, if it's in that area, he said, that's probably the one he works on. So which one which one are you hammering on, bud?
It's called Precision Pipeline, and it's talking. I remember you texted me. You asked me if I was working on the Line 3 project, and definitely the same exact spot that he was going to is where I was working, which is just kind of a refresher on the fact that you never ever know who you're talking to. I mean,
yeah. Oh, ever.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was a good thing. He seemed like a really nice guy.
Yeah. So I guess the point is you might as well just treat everyone good, talk to everyone like they might know your best friend and you don't even know.
It's amazing the people you'll meet that way too, or realize oh, you got a common connection somewhere you'd never know.
Right. For sure.
Yeah. We're lost in a world of, it's like these little vortexes of I told you I've been trying to stay off like social media as much as I can anyway, with, you know, respect for, you know, work and stuff like that. Obviously I do some things here and there. And, but anyway, on weekends specifically, like I usually make an active effort if I can to just leave my phone at home, like if we go somewhere or whatever. So unless I need it for communicating or whatever, but, just not even messing with it at all. But it's amazing. It's not amazing. It is something, but when you are sitting at a table, and even like if your wife hops on, she's doing something on Snapchat, watching the nephews or something or whatever, and you just kind of look around, it's like you can't find people that just talk anymore. Like it's hard to find a stranger looking up to make eye contact with, to even smile at somebody or, you know, make any kind of a connection with anybody. It's amazing.
Right. I love like going through town, and I live in Duluth. It's a big enough city where it's not like where you grew up on some dirt road in Iowa. I mean, where you, if you wave, you know, that's fun.
we had a paved street. We had one 4-way stop though. We didn't have a stoplight.
But I'll just wave at people, and I mean, if they see me, their mouth just drops open, their head kinks to the side, like, who's that guy? Why is he waving at me?
Oh, I love it.
I mean? So I love keeping that alive. I really love when I do roll into my hometown, which I'm sitting in right now in a parking lot at the grocery store. I saw someone I knew, and I was driving, and obviously we're talking, so I just raised one finger off the the steering wheel, and he's like, "Hey, dude," he's waving. He's like, "Yeah, how's it going?" You know. So, and there again, like since I'm here, it's like there's never a feeling quite like going to your hometown where you grew up. I mean, It's just awesome. Yeah,
it is, and it grows on you as you get older too, for sure. I've noticed that. Like every time I go home, it's like a little bit more of like your heart just gets full, kind of. It's like, hey,
oh, for sure.
You seeing everybody seeing places you used to go all the time, hitting the local hardware store up, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, but you stay there for a while, and you're ready to go back home after that. Like, oh, okay, cool. I saw Concord. Yep. Actually, I saw a really funny moment. My wife and I went down to Billings. There's a guy named Finney. He's from Finland. He flies around for the government doing like nuisance predator control, basically. So he's contracted to handle problem grizzlies, relocate them, that kind of stuff, does some wolf trapping, different things like that if farmers and stuff are having issues. So anyway, I was helping him out with some things that he had with TACTM stuff, and then we had a couple other appointments down there. And on the way back, there's this itty bitty town. It's like one of the few places you'll lose service or you get a little glimmer of service, on the way to Billings from Great Falls. And there was a guy parked just like what you just talked about. There was a guy sitting out in front of this little like corner grocery store in this town. Like if you blink, you'll miss it. But there's one grocery store right in the middle of town by the fire station. There's a big jacked up truck sitting there. You can see a guy in there on his cell phone. And I see this guy walk out with a bag of groceries in his arm. And he looks at that truck. And then I see him like really quick, like back around the corner of the door. So I was like, what the hell is he doing? It caught my attention. And then he like crouched down and he crawled up to that truck. And he reached up and he slammed his arm on the hood as hard as he could. He ducked back down in front of the truck, dude. And that dude inside was whipping his head back and forth. Like, what the hell was that? Looking around. And then all of a sudden the guy with the groceries in his arm jumps up and like starts laughing and waving at him. And then he runs off to his truck or whatever. But those small town interactions, dude, you can't beat them.
Yeah. And that reminds me of something else. And then we better wrap it up because I got things to do.
You got hunting to do. I got work to do. I get it.
Did I ever tell you about the time I was in Duluth, where I currently live, and I was coming out, or I was going into our grocery store, and I happened to look over and I saw my brother coming out. So and it was the winter, and it had just snowed like 6 inches of fresh, heavy, wet snow, and I kind of hid somehow from him. And once he got past me, I rolled up a nice hard snowball and I wound up and just drilled him in the back with it. And he spun. You're in a public place, you're just pushing your cart out to your car and you get drilled in the back with a snowball. And I mean, he spun around so fast like he was under attack, and he sees me and he's just like, of course it's you. Oh, awesome, man. Yeah.
Well, awesome, dude. What?
You got to have a little fun in life,
You have to, man. Yep. Make connections with people. It's always worth it.
I don't recommend doing that to throwing a snowball at someone's back if you don't know them.
Just a random stranger.
Just I want to get that in there, So.
Oh yeah. No, that's awesome.
Well, I'll definitely be keep in touch with you and let you know how it goes, and I'm sure we'll do a podcast about it, huh?
Yeah, we have to, man. We got to get you on as many times as possible before you head back. So, well, cool, man.
Right.
Good catching up with you. Glad we got you on, and good luck with the turkeys, man.
Sounds good. Thanks, brother.
All right, brother. We'll see you.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode today, guys. This episode, getting a chance to reflect back with John makes me think of Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 through 25. Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. And let us not neglect our meeting together as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near. Just getting a chance to connect with people, look up from those cell phones and make real connections with people, have good laughs. And talking with John about those, small town interactions, or the guy at the airport that, happened to be going to John's job site, just shows you that we're all actually connected if we take the time to make an effort and make those connections. So lift your head out of the screen, go out there, get out in the woods, spend time with God, quiet your heart, and let him show you how you can motivate someone else in your life around you tomorrow or whenever the next interaction is you have with somebody. Thanks again, guys. And as always, God bless and keep praying and slaying.